Ready?
Okay.
응답하라 Yeochin. Go to the into the she.
Back to the gang to the Jew. Jane. You know
You have
I
some tea for me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You know I love to tell you.
Yes.
The most. Because you don't actually listen. Do you scroll through
TikTok?
on TikTok?
Sometimes.
Yeah, but
Very
not really.
Rarely. Yeah.
I get invested in the tea that's out there.
Uh-huh.
And this is why I love TikTok, because you hear the most outrageous stories
Yeah.
that I don't feel like you hear in fact, I don't think this news is elsewhere. I haven't seen it elsewhere. So I'm going to tell you. Okay. This is crazy.
It's piping hot.
I don't even know if Okay, I'm going to set the scene.
Okay.
New York University.
NYU.
Mm-hmm. A student.
Mm-hmm.
It's her story.
Okay.
Starts with the video. Y'all, I woke up at 5 a.m. this morning as my roommate peed on my face.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, it's not funny. At first, I was like, is this a joke?
Yeah.
Is this a rage bait? Because that's the thing. There's so much rage bait out there.
Mm-hmm.
People just making shit up for views and clout. I was like, this can't be fucking real. It seems to be very real. I was like, well, first of all, it also sounds like a female student. I woke up to her squatting over me, and she was peeing on me, my face, my bed. Everything was soaked. And she said, what the fuck are you doing? Okay, Jane's jaw just hit the... I've mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Jane's jaw has dropped. This is a real story coming out of TikTok. It's an NYU student, and she's like, I don't know what to do. She left the dorm because she felt unsafe being, obviously, with someone that would pee in your face.
Mm-hmm.
She got her couple of essentials and just got the shit out of there. Tell me where I need to go. Tell me who to talk to. I need help. That was her video. Thoughts, Jane?
Her first instinct was to post on TikTok. I knew. Tell me what to do.
Well, she had already called places, her dorm. What do you call them? RAs and stuff. Yeah. And nobody. They escorted her out and stuff. And but she was like, "What? Who do I need to?" Well, she didn't know who she should contact. She contacted the RA, but they were all closed. It happened on a Friday.
Okay.
She's like, I don't feel safe staying here, but I contacted all the people, and they tell me that there's nothing that they can do for me till Monday. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
But so hard to believe, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's been some updates, so now.
What's the circumstance, though?
Huh?
What is the circumstance?
So she lives
her roommate,
in a dorm.
But her roommate was drunk or?
Right. I was like, there's gotta be more. Well, how? Why? Yeah. Did she sleepwalk and got up on your face and thought it was a toilet? What?
Yeah, that could happen. You're living with someone. I have heard stories where someone's roommate, she told me her friend woke up in the middle of the night needing to go bathroom, and she opened up her laptop and peed there.
Ah! This is someone you know?
Yeah.
Ah!
No, not the person who peed is not someone I know.
No, but someone you know
roommate of
told
somebody
her
I
this
know.
Story.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it, the peeing on the face, obviously, something is wrong there.
Yeah.
But
she did not indicate. So then she says, this is what happened that led up to this event.
Oh.
It was a text exchange, and the night before, she felt her roommate was being loud, and so she texted her.
With the beef.
But I read the screenshot. She provided a screenshot and said, "This is what I texted her." I said, "I understand you had friends over, something of that degree, but the music at that hour we really need to be, we're in a communal space,
Mhm.
so you need to be mindful.
Yeah.
And if you could turn it down.
Yeah.
It was done very, like, not aggressive,
Yeah.
very, like, matter of fact,
Mhm.
but, like, please consider.
She had friends over in their room,
Or
shared
something,
room.
I can't remember, but it was like a noise. Could you keep it down?
Sure. Mhm.
I could hear you even though I have my headphones on.
Mhm.
And then that's the next incident that
Mhm.
happened. She was asleep and then woke up to her roommate squatted in her face peeing on her. That's insane, right?
Mhm.
So then I was like, I mean, it's not that I don't believe the girl. It's the situation is so
Wild.
wild and gross,
Yeah.
and who would do that, right?
Yeah.
But then I do think it's real, because then she goes on to say she made more videos, and people were like, if that was me, what do you mean you just said get off of me and that's it? Like, you're being violated.
Mhm.
You mean to tell me you didn't punch her out? And then this girl says, listen to me. I am a black girl
Mhm.
at NYU.
Mhm.
I love the school. I have given my blood, sweat, and tears the last 2 years attending to the school,
Mhm.
and I'm on a scholarship.
Mhm.
I cannot afford to make mistakes
Yeah.
and be reactionary. I
Yeah.
have to think of every circumstance.
Mhm. That's very real.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am on here on scholarship money that can be taken away
Uh-huh.
at any slight grievance.
Yeah.
So, no, I am not going to be in the heat of the moment
Mhm.
putting my life on the line.
Yeah.
And that I actually made it really believable
Mhm.
at that point, because I'm like, wow, I mean, how do you find self-control in that kind of moment unless you have so much to lose,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
If that's always in the back of your mind,
Yeah.
like, you can't ever let your guard down, even as you're being violated
Mhm.
with someone's bodily fluid.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Have there been any updates?
so now it sounds, I mean, I feel so bad. Everybody's saying in the comments, lawyer up,
Mhm.
because the NYU has gotten involved,
Okay.
and it seems that they're more upset about her making this incident go viral
Oh my gosh.
than
Yeah.
their image, right?
Yeah.
Than
That's
actually
ridiculous.
um,
Doing anything.
actually
addressing-
trying to protect,
Yeah.
the victim.
Right.
And now she's in this position, like, there's an investigation, but it
Mhm.
feels to me that they're not investigating the incident as much as they are investigating the fact that I came forward with the story.
Mhm.
And that's what they're more concerned with.
Mhm.
And that's really,
Yeah. Has it hit like mainstream news?
I don't think so, which
Okay.
I'm surprised
Yeah.
by. And, I think people think it's easy to get a lawyer, but it's
No, it's so hard.
to get a lawyer that thinks that can win
You're a college
case.
student.
Yeah.
You don't have money. You don't have. Yeah. Oh gosh.
I feel so bad for her.
Yeah.
And I mean, of the most crazy stories you hear on TikTok, this
Mhm.
has to be. I can't even fathom. Like, if you're mad at your roommate, right?
Mhm.
Like, or mad at a friend or whatever, I can't fathom somebody coming up with, well, I'm going to pee on her face
Yeah.
while she's asleep.
What
that
was
is
like the
deranged.
most outrageous roommate story you have?
What?
What is the most outrageous roommate story you have, or roommate experience you've had?
I've had some roommates in college. I didn't live in a dorm. I lived in an apartment by myself, but I couldn't afford. So I had to get roommates. I had this one white lady.
White lady. White
She was
girl.
a PhD.
Call-
No,
oh.
she was a PhD
Oh, lady.
student. Yeah,
Lady.
she was in her 40s.
You had a grown up. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
Yeah, because I think at that point, I
Okay,
didn't
you
want a
weren't
roommate
joking.
friend.
Yeah. Okay.
I wanted a stranger
Got
because it got bad with someone who was a friend.
Oh,
So I was like,
okay.
you know what? I'm
Yeah.
just gonna make this like
Yeah.
keep it business and
Yeah.
have easier to make boundaries. And so there was a white lady,
Yeah.
woman in her 40s getting her PhD. I
Uh-huh.
can't even remember what it was for. But she's like, yeah, I'm really simple. I just need to focus on my studies.
Yeah.
Da, da, da. I was like, great. I just want a roommate that's going to keep to herself and pay the bills with
Mhm.
me. And we were doing fine. And then she reminds me of that Sex and the City episode, Burger. Do you remember Burger?
Yeah.
Where he broke up with her
Yeah.
on
On
a
a Post-it
Post-it.
note. Uh-huh.
She left me a Post-it note, and all her shit was gone one day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
She's
and
like,
was
okay,
like,
no, I can't do this.
it wasn't something I had done, but
Yeah.
she said something like, I think something was going on in her personal life,
Okay.
and was like, I have an emergency, I can't be here anymore, so
Okay.
I gotta go.
Ooh.
That was,
I can't. Can you imagine living in a dorm at your age now?
oh fuck no, I can't even imagine. Sometimes, the last trip I went, I shared a room with the girl, and I was like, am
That's
I gonna
hard.
be okay with that?
I know, because you're like, there has to be like so much trust there.
Yeah.
And so much like, yeah.
Speaking of which, I told you that I just decided to book a trip to Thailand, and I'm gonna be like what is that thing
A
called?
host, like a trip host.
Yeah, Trobia?
Trova trip.
You know it better than
Mhm.
me. So I decided to sign up for it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be going on a trip with like 8 strangers. If it actually, so I have to book 2
Yeah.
people in the first 14 days,
Uh-huh.
and then book the rest of the 6 people
Uh-huh.
that are willing to pay to go on a trip. I don't
Yeah.
even know if people are willing to pay to go on a trip with
I'm
me.
sure there are people out there who are. We just have to cast the net far and wide. No.
The way
You're-
you said that, Jen, I'm sure there are. They must exist.
There's probably more people willing to do that with you than there are with me. Like, I'm very boring. Like, but I think there are people who like see you and want to like be with you. And my concern is that it's gonna be tiring for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're the draw of the trip, right? My friend Kat did this too, I think also with Trova Trip.
Yes.
And she said it was great because they plan everything for you, and it was fairly hands off for her. But she
Exactly.
did say it was tired. There was a tiring
Of
element
course,
to it
because
you are on.
yes, because
Yeah.
you're around
Yeah.
people. And you know me, Jane. I am an extrovert. I fully accept that, recognize that. When I'm around people, I instantly turn on.
I can appreciate that there are extroverts,
Yeah.
but I find it hard to believe.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm like, what do you mean you like being around people? Like, what do you mean? Like, you genuinely
Okay.
like it?
Okay. So I do also
Mm-hmm.
enjoy not being around people.
Okay.
Right.
Yes.
So it's not always.
Okay.
Obviously. In fact, I enjoy more alone time.
Okay.
However, I do. You've seen me. When
Sure.
I'm around people, it's not even a choice I make.
Mhm.
I just instantly turn on to another
Yes.
level.
Yes.
Like when I'm with you,
Mhm.
I'm like, even now, I'm like animated and engaged. When I'm home with the dog, I'm like, what? What are you saying?
But-
he gets the most laid back version of me.
After you do this, are you energized? Because I'm
tired.
drained.
I'm
Okay.
tired.
Okay.
I am tired.
Okay.
So yes, it will be tiring. I'll be wiped out.
Okay.
So it still tires me out.
Okay. I'm thinking about my college experience. I'm so lucky that I got to room with friends the entire 4
In a dorm?
years in a dorm.
Wow.
So sorry. So it was like
What
2
college
years.
did you go
I went to UCLA.
Yeah.
And 2 years in the dorms, and then 2 years in
Apartment?
apartments.
to?
Yeah,
You
and
did
so
it well. Yeah.
which was, I think that was just the trend, or that was just, you only got 2 years guaranteed in the dorms.
Oh, okay.
And by then, you have an idea of who you kind of get
Did you-
along with,
Yeah.
and you group together and like
Yeah.
find an apartment. But go ahead.
Did you continue with those same roommates to the next 2 years?
My one roommate, I was we lived together like the entire time.
Oh,
I
okay.
think. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. That's impressive.
And I think
And is
it's
that one of your
because-
best friends now?
Well, it's hard to see her. Like we're kind of in different life stages. She has much younger kids than I do.
Oh.
And so we've kind of been like always missing each other since COVID.
Okay.
But yeah, I would consider her to be one of my close friends. I need to do a better job of keeping in touch with her. But
Well,
the
you know.
reason why I think it worked well is because I think she's so gracious. Because I probably did things that like drove her nuts.
Like what? You?
Like I was a night owl, like not a party night owl, but I would
Oh.
just like burn the midnight oil.
Mm.
And we were both kind of like that.
Okay.
But I think we did a good job of just giving each other the space. And
Yeah. Wait, but you
yeah.
had another roommate. You had 2 roommates, right? Or just one?
So when we were living in the dorms, it was just her and I.
Okay.
And we got really lucky because, at that time, there was a housing shortage and they were building more dorms. But in the meantime, they were putting 3 people to like a double
Oh
room.
my God. Nuh-uh.
And they were
No.
doing it so that this is probably very common if people our age who went to college at the same time. But like you have a bunk bed on one side and then a bunk with a desk under on the other side. So
Oh,
it's like
yeah,
3 beds,
yeah.
right? And then you have like a wardrobe, and then there's only like 2 built-in closets. So then there's like a third wardrobe.
Oh my
and
God.
there's only room for bodies. Right? But we got so lucky because, first you have to request if you have like a specific roommate request, then you can request, but that's no guarantee that
Right.
it's just going to be the 2 of you. So
Yeah.
we had a third that was assigned to us,
Oh.
but that person got reassigned or pulled out or
Oh,
whatever.
you
So right
lucked
before school
out.
started, we found out it was just going to be the 2 of us. So we had our room felt a lot more spacious than
Oh.
other friends. But I was so glad because orientation week, I remember at the time they had a week where you could do like an orientation and
Mhm.
you're living in the dorms to kind of get the experience.
Oh, okay.
And that was all random, right? Because it was like you choose what week you're available. It's kind of like camp, like
Yeah.
summer camp. And the girl that was my roommate that week, she brought a guy in like
Uh-huh.
overnight. And they were
Okay.
like in bed together. And I was I was like traumatized because I think they thought I was asleep, but I woke up. And so I had to
Blake
be
is
like,
laughing.
yeah, but can you imagine? I was
Mortifying.
18 years old and I had like
Mortifying.
no
Wait.
you
This
know.
was a trial week?
trial week, orientation.
So you were trying out a roommate?
I wasn't trying her out. Like you're just assigned. Like you're living there for you're attending orientation all week
Oh.
and you're enrolling in classes, but
Okay,
you're living at
okay.
the dorms. And this was maybe like a few weeks
She
before the actual
had to
semester
bring her
started.
man during orientation
During
week?
orientation.
Girl.
And I had to be so quiet and be like,
Could you?
I'm
Were
like, I
they
have to stay
doing
here
it?
for like the end of the week. I don't know. I don't know.
No.
I know.
No.
I know. But like that was probably as
That's
as
a really
college-y
yeah.
that my experience got because I wasn't big on partying or anything.
Yeah.
So yes. So when it was my friend,
And you didn't say anything, huh?
no, of course
Oh
not. Because
my God, yeah.
I was like terrified because I was like, I don't know what's going on. Like
I would have been like, what in the actual hell?
yeah. They
There's
should have
no
made. I
way.
mean, I'm sure they made a rule. I'm sure there was a rule. Like,
Of
like,
course there was a fucking rule. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
yeah, but it's like
That's
college,
outrageous.
so-
That's
like the
pretty
most
bad.
rebellious thing I did was have a halogen lamp, and you're not allowed to have those. So because they could cause fires. So when they do like the inspections, we
Oh.
were unplugging it and stowing it away in the closet.
Wait, what's a halogen lamp?
It's like a really, really bright. Like the bulbs are very bright.
And why
Um,
did you need this?
because it's like a lot brighter. Like the dorm, like you just have that overhead
You
fluorescent
nerd,
light, or
Jane.
the light is turned off, right? So you have to have like your own like halogen. I mean, we were nerds.
Even
we were
even
nerds.
you
Like-
living on the edge is a nerd out. Like
Yeah.
I got a bright lamp.
Yeah. But I mean, like I've heard of like vindictive roommates,
Yeah.
but nothing like peeing on the face. It was
Oh.
more like
Or-
gonna leave. Like I'm not gonna flush the toilet after.
No, there was.
That's pretty gross,
Yeah, I do
but-
remember another story where this woman was living in New York, and she like got into this situation where this landlady that gave her the room was like horrible or whatever, or maybe I don't know. I can't remember if it was roommate or not, but yeah, like classic thing is sticking your toothbrush in the toilet.
Yes,
I would carry my toothbrush.
I had a caddy.
Yeah.
And
Your
gross
own.
because when does it ventilate? But it
Yeah.
just like stayed
Yeah.
the wet stuff. Like I had a caddy and then I put it in my closet, close the door. Even the towel, like I don't know. Yeah.
I don't touch my towel.
Yeah. And I had friends who were
Shudders.
like very squeamish about like you cannot sit on my bed with your outside clothes.
Yes.
Or they had like a bed cover that was like,
Yes.
that's just for sitting.
Yeah.
And then when I sleep, I peel
Because
that off.
that ass has been everywhere. You know what I mean?
Like
Sitting in
college
public
living
transportation.
is so nasty. And
Yeah.
I've been in a NYU dorm.
Yeah.
Like,
This-
I mean,
What about, wait, when you moved out to the apartment, you had 2 roommates then?
I had 4 roommates because we lived in a
And did you
two-bedroom
guys all get
dorm.
along?
No.
No.
Is that possible? No.
Tell me
Like,
about that.
I got along with my roommate, who I'm still friend. We still
Right.
call each other roomie.
Yeah.
Like,
Cute.
she's my roomie forever. But there was one girl that none of us really got along with. Like,
Oh, one. There's
I
always
think she
the
just
one.
had like no boundaries. Like she would just eat our food.
Oh, that's
like
the
she would
worst.
like, it's just like what you think is like common
Yeah.
stuff, but it's like very awkward to bring up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
those
had
kinds of things.
I had
Yeah.
this one girl that I knew her from high school, and then she ended up being my roommate. I think she came before the doctor.
Mhm.
That's why, I was getting the PhD person. But anyway, this girl I knew, but I didn't know her that well. But I was like, oh, I went to high school with you.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of better than not like a complete stranger, right?
Yeah.
And then but she was like very passive aggressive, and I was very like direct. So our communication would also like just clash.
Yeah.
And then that like, oh, like that girly talk thing that I can't stand. And I'm just like, what? Just say it.
Yeah.
But one of the things that really like still to this day impressed upon me. So I think I would do the clean, like I would clean out the refrigerator. So she would just like
Leave stuff.
leftovers in, like just
Yeah.
and I get like, ugh, like it's gross. So
Yeah.
I think one time I like cleaned out the fridge,
Yeah.
right? And I threw out her cheese
Oh no.
because it was molding.
Yeah.
So it was gross to just even look at, right?
Yeah.
So I threw it out.
Yeah. Good for
And
you.
then like later, she was like, "Have you seen my cheese?" And I was like,
now she's looking for
"Yeah."
it.
And I was like, "Yeah, it was like covered
Way
in mold."
past,
So
yeah.
I threw it out.
Yeah.
And then she says to me, "Oh, well, that's expensive cheese, and I just like to kind of shave off the mold."
Was it? What kind of cheese was it?
Bitch, it wasn't expensive. I would know. I mean,
Yeah.
okay, maybe I wouldn't know expensive cheese back in those years, but it was cheese. It was a little block of cheese. Okay,
It wasn't the kind where you like shave off.
I was like,
Ew.
she literally
Yeah,
told me
yeah.
that she's like, well, essentially cheese is mold.
No. I mean,
I was like,
no.
okay, like if you could just not touch my stuff. I'm like, then fucking like keep it sanitary, right?
Yeah.
Because refrigerator
Yeah.
is like food
Yeah.
that goes into your mouth. That
Ugh.
pissed me the fuck off.
Like I'm so like like um we like bemoan getting older, but I'm so glad I'm not in college anymore.
Oh,
And
yeah, for sure.
it's like a rite of passage, but it's such a gross period.
It
Like
is. It
such a
is a
gross
gross
period.
period. It is, and I can't. I mean, like I told you, even the idea of like, as a grown woman, like I'm like when we were traveling together. Thank God my friend is great, but like I was thinking, am I? I had never actually shared a room with her,
Okay.
so I was like, am I gonna be okay? I mean,
Yeah.
not in the weirdest sense. Like, of
It's
course I
very
trust
yeah,
her,
but it's
but
very
it's like
intimate.
bodily, like
Yes.
it's like habits, right?
Yes.
Actually, I heard this uh
Bodily
well,
habits.
the thing that I heard, the reason I said that
Mhm.
was I rarely listen to the radio, but one day I caught one of these stories on the radio where they ask for a second date update, like why haven't.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
this girl
I
got
like that bit.
ghosted,
Uh-huh.
and she was like, I don't know what happened. We had a really great date.
Mhm.
It was hot and heavy, and
Oh.
we did it that night, and I thought everything was great.
Mhm.
And the morning I had to leave early because I have an early job, so I did like leave early,
Mhm.
but like he never called back,
Okay.
and I don't know what could it be. It was like a 10 out of 10 fantastic date,
Mhm.
and they're like, the hosts were like, nothing, you can't think of anything, and then she was like, actually, maybe on my way out, I might have stepped on the cat litter and like
Oh.
gotten it, you know.
Hmm.
But that sounds very small, right?
Yeah.
Like, and then they were joking, like, did you kick the cat?
Yeah.
And they're like, maybe I don't know, like I couldn't see. So then the guy comes on, and they're like, hey, this girl that you were recently hooked up with really liked you, really thought you guys had a great day. Like, she has no idea what happened. What could it be? Like, and I feel bad saying this, but like, yeah, she slept over. I'm just like a really light sleeper, but she just would not stop farting all night. Jenny, your face.
And they stay on the line, right?
Yeah, they're.
Was she mortified?
She was like, well, you farted too. Oh my God. So whenever I get loud, Chopper.
Yeah. Oh, okay. This is what
I have to
Chopper
like
does.
take
Okay.
down my voice.
Okay.
If I yell at the kids, that's what he
Mhm.
does. He starts howling.
That's so
He's
funny.
my biggest lover and hater at the same time.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that mortifying? And
That
then
is
so
so
they're
mortifying.
like, we have her, let's call her Sarah. We have Sarah on the line. Sarah's like, well, just so you know, you farted too. And I was like, oh, that's such a defense mechanism,
What
right?
was for dinner?
That's what the host said.
It was like
the host asked, like, what did you guys have
Yeah.
for dinner? Why were you guys so gassed? And
lots
he was,
of dairy.
and the guy was like, hey, listen, look, you know what? I even feel. And then the host was like, it's not like she did it on purpose.
Yeah.
It's a bodily function she
Yeah.
can't control. She's asleep. What do you
Yeah.
really? You don't think people fart?
Yeah.
That's what she said. And he's like, I just didn't expect to hear it the first date.
Aww.
Mortifying.
But like, I want to go back to that girl who peed on her
Oh.
roommate's face. Was she?
Okay,
was
your
she like in a
discomfort is truly with the farts.
what?
you were like, let me get away from the fart
yeah,
story and
yeah,
go
yeah.
back to the pee in the face.
Well, like, was she conscious?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so she intentionally.
Well, she was asleep.
no,
And she got woken up
the
by
person
the pee.
who got peed on.
Oh,
was
yeah.
asleep,
There was no
but
talk
the
about
girl,
sleepwalking. None of
because
that.
that can happen. Like, people sleepwalk, and you're in like a tight space.
Yeah,
right?
but I don't know. There was
Yeah,
no
that's
mention
just-
of
yeah.
sleepwalking,
Mhm,
paralysis,
mhm,
nothing like
yeah.
that.
I mean, that's
And
a
the
clear
fact,
violation.
and also
then.
she's a girl, so it's not
Yeah.
like a boy that just
Oh,
whips it out and
right.
pees.
Yeah.
But she like went up on that girl's bed
Oh my god.
and squatted over her
Traumatic.
face, and she said, my whole mattress was soaked in her urine. You must, that kind of hate, I can't. I can't even imagine that. Although, actually, there's another story I can tell you about. So, God, I know so many. I watch too much TikTok. So this dog walker was walking, and this woman with the baby saw this dog walker, big dogs. She had a couple of big dogs. And then the dog squatted and pooped in her yard.
Yeah.
So the mom with the baby that lives in this house watched, and the dog walker did not pick up the poops. So I guess she is tired of it. You know, I'm tired of it. Just walking and you see dog poop, it's annoying. Like, pick up your own dog poop. This woman runs out and says, "Excuse me, you have to pick up the dog poop. You can't just leave it there." And these aren't small dogs; they're giant dogs. Yeah. And so she was like, "You can't make me do anything." Now this woman was black, and she was like, she brought up the race thing, and was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna have like this white woman telling me what to do. You better back the fuck up. You can't make me do anything." And then the woman with the baby's like, "It's the right thing to do. You have to pick up your dog poop." And then this woman says, "Okay," picks it up and throws it in her face. And this woman said, "The poop got in my mouth and in my baby."
Oh no.
Chopper, that is
a true story?
Yeah, because it went viral. And she was like, "Thank you." She was so, the way
what
she
is
told
wrong
the story,
with
she was
people?
like, she was so shocked.
Yeah.
She's like, my mouth was open because I was so shocked at the poop that was hurling. I couldn't believe it was my life. Yeah.
And it came in. Oh my gosh. Oh my
people
God. Oh my God. Oh my
are
God.
losing it.
There are people who don't pick up the dog poop in our neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
Why? Why? I don't get it.
Okay.
I mean, I have a dog.
Okay, but there are moments when you there.
Yes.
Okay, there are moments when we have not picked up our dog poop. Okay, I forgot to bring my bags. Ran out. It's a legitimate excuse, but also okay. I will also admit. Now you've seen where I live.
Yeah.
It's in the sticks.
Yeah.
Okay. It's in rural wilderness.
Yeah.
I should pick up.
Okay.
Some days where there is like a path nobody walks. All right, guilty. Like once in a while, I'm like, ugh. Or it's like his poop is really wet. I'm like, ugh. Like how am I gonna pick that up? Like it's impossible. It's in liquid form. Okay,
well, if it's like where people are not going,
right.
Like if it's
but
your
normally
own yard,
I do.
Yeah.
9 out of 10, I do.
Very rarely has there been an occasion where like I forget that I used up the last bag.
Yeah.
But then you go and get it. You go home, get the bag, and then
I will go back. Yes.
And my fear always is like, oh my gosh, like people like. I'm not leaving. I am coming back for the poop. You know,
I did that this morning because I have 2 leashes and the one leash didn't have the bags. So and I didn't expect him to poop. Yeah. And he pooped and I was like, "Oh no."
Yeah.
I said, "No. Wait. Let us go walking." Luckily there was one of those stations with the dog bags and I was like, and I looked around, I was like, "Oh no. Let us go, Chopper, and walk over to the doggy bags."
You're like in your own stage play.
I'm making
here we
are.
Yeah.
Back for the poop.
One time I had to ask a neighbor who I didn't know, you know, because I was like in my neighborhood, but somebody that I didn't know. She's coming out with her dog, and mine pooped, and I noticed that I was all out of bags. And I'm like panicking. I'm like, "Excuse me."
Yeah. "May I have a bag?"
"May I have a bag, please?" And she's like, "Of course." And it was a great way to meet somebody.
Yeah.
But
and
I cannot tell you.
They appreciate you so much, too.
More often than not, like we will be walking on our path and there's like picked up dog poop.
Yeah.
Like on the walking path.
Yeah.
Usually the dogs poop on the
in the
grass.
Yeah.
Right? But
or you're walking your dog.
Yeah.
and he's about to step in that poop.
Right.
And I'm like, jerk.
Or they're like
And he's
interested
"What
in
the
it,
fuck?"
right? And
Yeah,
they're like
and I'm like, no.
sniffing it. Yeah.
And it's like, not the, I just gave you a
I
bath,
know,
not the
I
wet
know.
dog poop. That, like, but can you
Ugh.
imagine if someone hurled dog poop in your face and your baby?
That is not right. That is not right.
Everybody was like, on the woman's side, like,
Mhm.
this is not a race issue.
No.
Go get that woman. Go
Yeah.
lawyer up. Go get her charged. Like, that is
my
unacceptable
God.
behavior. So that, I felt good for her
Mhm.
that she, was supported.
Mhm.
But my God, we have lost the plot.
I know.
I think there is something. People are losing it.
Yeah.
I mean, did you hear about Kanye?
No.
Well, Kanye, he just always saying the most grossest stuff, whatever. And I'm like, this man is completely unhinged,
Mhm.
right? And we've known that for a while. But he recently said on a tweet, just volunteer this out of the blue. I had to suck my cousin's dick when I was like 6.
Mm.
And I was like, oh my God. Like, I just knew.
Mhm.
I knew that Kanye was fucked up. And
Mhm.
that's the fact that story did not surprise me because I was
Mhm.
like, it
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, he's so
That's so
fucked up.
terrible.
And
Ugh.
I think his obsession with the way he dresses that woman he's with, I don't know if that's his wife, girlfriend, whatever. And it's just like, it's
Mhm.
strange, right?
Mhm.
Like and I think when he was with Kim Kardashian, like he thought he was going to get validation.
Mm.
And he was so into the idea that people were going to like recognize him with being with this, I mean, she is in her own right, like sort of icon
Yeah, she's
of our,
yeah. Right.
digital era and whatnot. And that constant seeking of it, right?
Mm.
You're like,
Mhm.
why does this man need this?
Mm.
And it just made sense.
Yeah.
Like, when people exhibit behaviors that are not just so beyond, there's
Mhm.
something, it's not an excuse,
No.
but there is something they are unhinged.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that explains Kanye so much. It's so sad.
It is very
I loved his
sad.
album, The College
Yeah.
Dropout. It's one of my favorite albums, but you can't excuse him for the things that comes out of his mouth, right?
Mhm.
And then
Mhm.
when he dropped that, I was like, ugh. It's people, when they exhibit the behaviors that they do, it really shows how deep the damage was.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that really,
Oh man.
and then it gets me thinking, man, I'm a good person, Jane.
I am a normal
Considering the shit
person.
that I've been
We
through,
are in the normal range.
I have
Yeah.
genuinely thought,
Yeah.
it would not, I mean, I did party and have a good time in college and stuff, but if I had like really gone off the rails with my drinking or doing drugs,
Mhm.
I don't think that it would have been a shock.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I thank God
Mhm.
that I didn't fall into that pathway.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I thank God that I met Adonis, a nerd,
yeah.
who kept me like in the
On the straight and narrow.
he kept me basic. I'm like, God, because okay, when people call themselves queer, right?
Mhm.
So I see people that are married to men. This kind of confuses me, but they identify as queer.
Mhm.
And I think, but you're with the man. So how do you, but the idea is that you don't see.
Wait, you're talking about women married to men who identify as queer?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I feel like, well, I'm married to a man. I'm in a
heterosexual
relationship. So it feels
yeah.
weird to be like, I'm also queer, right?
Mm-hmm.
But apparently it's the idea that you believe that you can be attracted to anyone and that you don't fit in these binary roles.
I think you can be attracted to anyone.
Yeah, I feel
yeah.
that. I'm telling you, Jane, if I didn't meet Adonis when I met Adonis, I could have been with the woman.
Yeah.
But then I had a friend tell me.
Yeah. No. What?
I said, I think I find women very attractive. Don't get weirded out. I'm not like saying I'm hitting on you right now.
No, I find that too.
Yeah, I find women, like, I never turn my head for a man.
Right.
But I'm like, wow, that woman is drop dead gorgeous.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if I ever told you, but one time I had a role. One time in band camp. One time I had a role. It never got aired or never made the cut or whatever. They decided to go a different way with it. But I did get hired to be in a relationship with the woman.
Oh. Was it for TV or?
It was for a commercial, I think. And it was like, one of those internal corporate videos.
Okay.
And I was like the pregnant wife.
Oh, uh-huh.
And I was the girl. And my woman was the butch woman. And I was married to a white woman. Dreams. When we had a kiss.
Uh-huh.
And they were like, I cannot stop laughing.
For a corporate video?
Yeah.
Like an internal.
So they're like, okay. Okay, I need
Who
to
is
backtrack.
right?
No,
Yeah.
No. My wife was picking me up.
Okay.
From work.
Okay, so it's just like a hi.
Yeah, like, hi, babe.
Greeting kiss.
And then they were telling me, like, well, do what you would do with your partner.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I thought about what I do. What do you do with your partner?
Yeah.
I was like, if I see him and I'm picking up, like, we peck.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what I meant. Not like a deep throat. So I was like, okay, we should do a peck. Like, that's normal. So then I get into the car. She goes, hey, babe. And I put on my seatbelt and I peck, right? The softest lips I've ever felt. I was like, oh, my God. My man's cracked, rough ribs. Like, like, these were baby soft lips. I was like, oh. Yeah. I felt things, Jane. I was like, is this what women feel like to kiss?
You kissed a girl and you liked it.
I kissed the girl and I liked it. Anyways, I'm saying, if I didn't meet Adonis when I met him, who knows who I could have ended up with.
Yeah, couldn't we say that about?
Could you see yourself with the girl?
I could see myself with the girl. I think. Yeah. Especially now being 40, knowing what I know about
and how gross men are.
Them? Yeah.
I do think, there's a more. I do feel like there's more women settling down with women more than ever.
Yeah.
And I think it's for the reason you're saying, because men are gross.
Yeah.
But sometimes you see these women living together and they live like so clean, orderly, aesthetically together. I'm like, that
sounds like
me.
a dream, right? You just you get it,
Jane,
right? You share the mental burden.
There was light in your eyes that I haven't seen. Imagining a clean, orderly house. It wasn't the attraction to the woman. You just imagined the house clean.
Yeah.
And I could see that in your eyes.
Well,
we could. So you're telling me we could have both gone.
College prepares you. Living with roommates, college, it prepares you for marriage, like for the zoo that we live in now.
Yeah. We could have been married to each other. I could have been hitting on you, Jane.
I could go on this trip to Thailand with you and be a roommate.
We could seal that. We come back. Reply YC is Yeochin.
And it is truly Yeochin now.
It is now.
Yeah.
Remember the shit we would get from the Koreans in Korea? Like, we only use Yeochin for like girlfriend, boyfriend purposes. We're like, bitch, we don't give a fuck. Now we could really say,
who says it's not?
What would Ben say about this?
I don't know.
Ben would be like, you would rather be with the woman than me. Just kidding, Ben. Ben would never. I don't know why. Ben cracks me up. Whenever you tell me later like what Ben said, I'm like, oh my God.
He
That
does
is my adorable
his
동생.
favorite thing to do is like doing laundry, right? And
What?
no. Let me finish. While doing laundry, he listens to us. Yeah.
Stop
Yeah.
it. Oh, did he just
And he's
earn
like
some?
cracking up and yeah.
Oh my gosh, Ben doing laundry
Yes.
and listening to us. That is the most
Laundry
cutest
is his
thing.
thing, but then yeah, he always likes to like listen and like I always feel like oh when
That's
he's
so
listening to
cute.
us.
I don't think my husband has listened
Listened to
or
a
watched
single
a
episode.
single fucking episode.
Well, I mean, he has front row seat to
oh
you
yeah.
every day. Yeah.
You know, it's so annoying. So I'll be like, was my set really good? He goes, they're always good. I'm like, but which one was your best? I've seen so many. But why does he say it like he's in pain? Like, haven't I seen so much? How could I possibly choose? I'm like, that could have been a
do
great
like
answer.
such a great impression of him. That's exactly what I picture. That's his like
Do you
always
really?
his facial expression is always like the
This is his face.
Yeah, that is his
it's like,
face, always. Yeah.
Like, you've seen it, right? Have you actually seen him do it to me?
I'm sure I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, at dinners and stuff.
It's so annoying. Sometimes I want to slap. He's like, he's like, haven't we done this enough? Haven't we been together enough for you to know? I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
It's
He's the one and only.
Adonis.
Yeah.
He better be.
Yeah.